Warning: if you might be offended by foul language or off-color jokes, now is the time to kindly fuck off.
And on today's agenda, we will discuss the Euros as well as Copa America, with both tournaments fully underway. We have one of the most interesting guests we've ever had on the podcast in Peter Wright. And of course, Barry and I will wrap up, as always, with our Wanker of the Week. So stick around for another great episode. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Londoner Calling Pubcast. I am Ben Drabick, joined as always by Barry Tate. Barry, how are we doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm ready. After this podcast, I'm going to go out there and help make America great again.
Oh, God, Do you want to elaborate on that at all? Or
no, I just thought I just liked the phrase. I never knew when it became not ungreat.
Well, we're going to push past that part.
Yeah.
Barry, let's get into it. Euros, flying right now. England play here in a couple hours. The groups are going crazy. If you missed yesterday's match, Italy at the depth potentially knocked Croatia out. 30 seconds left. They score a banging goal. Spain win that group. Group A is decided. Germany win the group and they're through. Switzerland finished second. Hungary with a last-second winner against Scotland.
Wait.
They might qualify as a third-place team now.
They might. Did you see? Why did Scotland not get a penalty? Did you see that?
I did not. I was watching the
What
Italy.
the fuck is VAR for? I mean, the fella clattered into him. I mean, okay, you might have to have a look at it, but once you've seen it on VAR, there's no way. And do you know what? Mm-hmm. This is what gets me.
Go on.
Referee.
Yeah.
Do you know about him?
Who? No.
Fucking Argentinian.
Oh.
What's an Argentinian doing in the Euro? I really mean that.
I think they have refs
plenty
from
of
all
Greek
over.
and then
I'll say this: the two games with the most referee controversy, 2 Premier League refs. 2 Premier League refs. That's all I'm going to say. 2 Premier League refs for the games.
Scotland were hard done. They should have got the penalty.
I thought Brazil could have had a penalty last night as well.
They could have.
Vinny got slammed over. I thought they were a little unlucky not to get one. That being said, they played shit, so I'm not trying to give them too much credit. But let's get back to the Euro. So with Italy scoring that last-second goal, again, that Spain wins that group with 9 points. Italy finished second. Croatia has 2 points. Now, I'm going to pull this out because I want to make sure I get this right. They can still pull my phone out to get the quote.
Did you hear that? Hey, he got arrested for that once. I'm going to pull this out.
Yeah.
We told you. Put it away.
Croatia are not mathematically dead. They need England to win by 3 or more goals today, or they need Turkey to beat the Czech Republic or have a goalless draw, and Portugal to beat Georgia or have a goalless draw. So Croatia, as doom and gloom as it seemed yesterday with the last-second equalizer.
I'm sorry. I can't get past. I'm going to pull this out.
My phone.
How many men said that? So
you're a monster. Yeah, you're a monster. Anyways, maybe just lock in for 10 seconds and talk about soccer, please. Croatia aren't done yet. Obviously, tournament giants. Really good track record in national tournaments.
But they don't
But they didn't look great. They don't look great. Now, looking at England, speaking of teams that don't look great, let's go to England here. They play Slovenia today. They're 4 points top of the group, and we'll talk about this a little bit more in the interview. If they don't win the group, they will finish second. And if they finish second, that takes them to a lovely date with Germany.
England are going to win today.
Okay.
First, they have to. Then they've got the pressure is off them to a degree. Mm-hmm. They might bring in a couple of, maybe Cole Palmer might better get, because they got to test these players.
I've heard that the lineup is staying the same, bar they're replacing Trent in midfield for Conor Gallagher. I agree. I think it's stupid. I don't think it's
your
good.
man Saka, he needs a rest.
He's been playing nonstop. But what's the thing? Who are you going to play instead of him? Cole Palmer? He's way fucking worse than him. Mr. Don't get 0 minutes at the Euros is not beating my boy Saka, all right? England's back-to-back player of the year. We're not doing that. We're not going there. It's not even close. Don't even roll your eyes at that one. Saka is miles clear.
Keep on, I'll get it out.
Yeah, but England, again, 2 goals. One from Bellingham, one the other day. I think it was Kane who scored it.
The main thing about a tournament, as much as you hate it, you just got to get through to the next round.
You do.
It's got fuck all to do with style. Of course, you'd like to play good. You'd like to piss on the other team.
You want to look like Spain and go 3 for 3, right?
But I've seen tournaments where teams like Spain have won it all, got to the quarterfinals, semis, boom,
and
they're gone.
Get knocked by Croatia on penalties, or they get knocked by someone like that, right?
Especially if it goes down to penalties.
Penalties is a hands up type thing. Yeah, it really is.
No, England. I still think England can still do it. Obviously, they have to change. There's a lot of but it's
the thing for me is not that England doesn't have the talent; it's that they have not been creating shit. they're not even chances out there.
I've never seen them players give the ball away so much as they did the
I don't
last
even
game.
see. The thing is, like, it's not even like, oh wow, like Serbia's goalkeeper stood on his head today or something. England could have had 4. No, they're not even getting like 4 good shots on target per game. That's the thing. And you look at the world class talent they have all over the field. Between Bellingham's a Champions League winner, Kane was the leading goal scorer in the Bundesliga, Saka another fantastic season, Foden was the young player and player of the year in the Premier League, and then obviously you look in the midfield too. There's just talent everywhere.
Again, it's you can have all 11 of the best players in the world. It's all about who gels, who works together, and what the manager, what he's asking you to do,
how he does it,
what you normally do. It's nice if you can do what you do for your club.
I do want to bring up one quote from Gareth Southgate that he said after the draw with Denmark is, quote, "We don't have a natural Calvin Phillips replacement." Is he trying to piss off the English fan base by saying such stupid things?
Well, it really is. I mean,
it's one of the dumbest things I've ever. Calvin Phillips, by the way, he didn't play him in a fucking knockout game at the World Cup once. So miss me with he's so important to my system. He's not. You didn't play him at the last World Cup. This is a guy who then got transferred on loan from Man City to not getting minutes at West Ham to getting booed by the West Ham fans getting on and off the bus.
If we got transferred to West Ham, we would have got a game.
We would have got a game. We would have played decent.
And I like Calvin Phillips, actually.
I feel bad for him. I think it's a tough hand he's been dealt. But again, for Southgate to play the way they did against Denmark, which, let's be real, it was an ugly game. It wasn't pretty. And then to come out and be like, our backup defensive midfield not being here hurt.
Denmark was always going to be
they're a good team.
It was always going to be a hard game for us.
They're a good team.
Most of them playing the EPL. Most of them know our players. And it's just how it is. I mean, as I said, you just want to get through to the next round. Yeah. And the next round, if you lose, you're out. So that's it. Fuck it. You deserve it. So,
but again, I just think that the comments and all the Calvin Phillips thing makes no sense to me. I think it made no sense to a lot of fans to call for your backup DM that you didn't take. You didn't take him here. You could have taken him here. You could have brought him in if you really cared about him that much. I think it's really stupid. Now, let's look at Group D because that's a really fun one, because right now what we just saw is Austria went 1-0 up on the Netherlands. France are tied 0-0 with Poland, and if those results hold, Austria wins the group with France and the Netherlands and Poland. So that would be a huge upset. Obviously, plenty of time to go. The Netherlands still fighting France if they win their game against Poland. Obviously, we're playing some stout defense as we typically do. But if they somehow get biased, they'll win the group.
It's good to watch the games and you get these early rounds. Again, it's so much better once you get through to the, it's
to the
win
knockouts,
or go home.
To the knockouts, it is.
You can't have all this shit. You sit back and hope to get a point.
Now, I do want to talk about one more group here. I'm going to kind of bypass Group F because it looks like Portugal, they've already won. It looks like Turkey are going to get through as well. The third place team's both on 1 point. No real threats there.
You mean that Turkey team with their golden age players that are playing like shit?
Czech Republic and Georgia are the two teams I was referencing with 1 point. Turkey have 3 points. They're probably going to go through a second in the group. They play the Czech Republic. I assume they win, all things considered. But I want to talk about Group E. 4 teams, all tied on 3 points. Romania, Belgium, Slovakia, and Ukraine. Going into the last day, Slovakia is playing Romania, Belgium's playing the Ukraine. Do you have a prediction for which 2 teams get through?
No, I don't. I mean, you'd have to think Belgium.
You'd have to think Belgium beat Ukraine, right?
Yeah.
But again, they've been struggling this tournament. Lukaku would be the leading tournament's goal scorer if it wasn't for VAR.
Yeah, but nobody's scoring goals. I mean,
own goal is scoring a lot.
What's the most any players scored?
I think 2. I think it's 2. Lukaku would have 3, and he would be the top. But
Harry
he's been
Kane was saying in all the tournaments, if you look back at the tournament, he doesn't score many in the early rounds. He himself said, "No, you don't." He said, "Once we get through, if we get through," he said, "That's
who typically does, but isn't, is Ronaldo. He won Golden Boot last year, only making the first round of knockouts, but he hasn't have a goal yet either. He has an assist. I thought this was funny. They had talked to him because it was him and Bruno going in, and it was a 2-1-0 on the goalkeeper, and Ronaldo, he could have shot, but he squared and Bruno scored. And sounds like someone just scored. Yeah, sounds like someone scored. Probably not Poland. But they were asking Ronaldo about, like, why didn't you shoot? It was so unselfish you to pass to Bruno. He goes, "My friends, I now lead the Euros all time in assist," which is why I was like, "Oh, you cocky bastard! You know all of your records, don't you?" So credit to him. Now we do have one matchup finalized for the round of 16 already, with Switzerland finishing second in Group A. Granit Xhaka in Group will take on Italy, who finished second in Group B. Do you have a prediction? I think that's going to be a terrific game. I think a lot of people discredit how good Switzerland are at international tourneys.
Italy once. I watched Switzerland a little bit.
Yeah.
But no, and
But again, Italy come in with a track record. They were this close to being one of the first team ever actually to win and then not qualify.
I want Switzerland to win because, as I said before, Italy shouldn't have won it last year, so fuck off.
Yeah, I could see Switzerland pulling the upset. I genuinely could. I think that people forget that last Euros, Switzerland knocked France out. So, or when it was Pogba versus Xhaka in that midfield in 2016. I think it was 2016 or something, but I mean, no, it was later. I don't know. But either way, I know that the Switzerland have knocked France out before. France was up 3-1. Switzerland scored 2 goals super late and then won.
They've threatened some of the England players if they don't put in a good performance. They're going to take them. In England, when I was going to school, you used to get the cane.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about Harry Kane.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they threatened him if they don't go through, they're all going to get 6 strokes of the cane.
I heard that if they don't play well,
there's a reason I'm mentioning this.
Okay, go on.
Okay. When I used to go to school, it's like the Charles Dickens era.
Okay.
Sometimes you'd be doing, hey, you boy, go get the punishment book. And that's when you was going to get the cane. So you used to have to walk down to the headmaster's office, knock on the door, enter, excuse me, sir, I've come for the punishment book. And I think the man was deaf because he always repeats it. The punishment book? Yes, sir. And that he knew you again. So you used to have to take this leather-bound book back to the class. The teacher would put in it the date, what you did wrong, how many strokes of the cane. I wish I would have got that book when it was left. I mean, it's a brilliant book. God knows, every little fucker in school was in that book.
Everybody.
One day we got sent down to get the punishment book. Me and my mate, we were pissing around in a science laboratory and something exploded. Anyway, so we're going to get the cane, and it's always 6. They call it 6 of the best. You always get 6, no more, no less.
Okay.
So I've come back in. The teacher's got this. It's a piece of bamboo, and it fucking hurts. So you can get it on the hand or the bum. You try not to cry because the whole class is looking at it. And it's the only time the whole class is quiet. It's like a public blogging. They fucking love it.
It is a public blogging.
See you there. So my mate Johnny Miles, the teacher bent him over the desk. He hits him 6 times across the arse.
Yeah.
Johnny Miles gets up after the 6th one. He's got tears rolling down his face. And the teacher says, who told you to get up? Bend over. He's giving him a 7th. Unheard of. The whole class went like that. They all went, ooh. So he gives him 7 on the arse. I'm next.
Yeah.
So I bend over. He gives me 6 times across the arse. So I saw what just happened. So I stay there. What do you think he said to me?
Why are you staying there? You're going to get another one.
No. Oh, you want another one, do you? I mean, fucking that brilliant humour. I mean, I've never forgot the teacher's name, Mr. Adams. So you want another one, do you?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty messed up.
I've still got the mark on my arse if you want to see it, Ben.
Yeah, we're good. We're going to move on, actually. That's a great transition into Copa America.
Anyway, that's what the England players are going to get.
I heard that they were threatened with a Southgate contract extension if they don't do well this year.
Well, it's a lot worse, isn't it?
That might be worse than 6 on the ass.
I'll take the cane.
But let's move to Copa America. Like I said, USA and Uruguay both winning their first games respectively. It looks like, again, it's going to come down to those two when they face off in Kansas City. 2-0 USA and 3-1 Uruguay. So, again, same goal difference, I think.
I don't think these people are listening. We had a group that on Sunday night when, I don't know who played, one of the Copa America teams, both South Americans.
Yeah, that was USA, and then it was Uruguay versus Panama.
Uruguay against Panama. We had some people watching it here. We had a 200 party booked here for that Sunday night. They were booked months ago.
Okay.
But they said they were going to be on the patio. They wanted to show a video on the screens. And we said,
Is that why the patios...
No, that's something else. We hooked the screens up to the patio so they can show what they wanted to show on this thing. It was a political thing of some sort, which I don't like, but we didn't know at the time.
They booked it.
I wasn't here on the night. We had some people watching the game, but it was so hot outside. The woman that organised it came in here, and she told my GM that we said we could put it on all the screens.
Ooh,
we had to. My GM stopped the soccer. These people watching, they were so upset, and I don't blame them.
You're at a soccer pub.
Soccer we're a soccer pub. It comes first.
Yeah.
I would have been here. I said, no, you have it on a few TVs, lady, but don't just take.
You don't get
this
every
woman
TV.
took over, and I'm so mad. I don't know who these people were. We picked up their tab. It's got nothing to do with it. They came in to watch their country, which you very rarely see anyway. If you're from Bolivia, God knows where else,
you don't get
never
to play these tournaments much.
And he said they were, I feel so bad. I don't know who they were or what. I doubt if they listen to this, but it'll never happen again because soccer comes first. I don't give a fuck if the Cowboys are playing against the 49ers.
Soccer
if there's
first.
a soccer game on there, we'll at least put it on some TVs.
Well, the way it's been going recent years, I also
_1.
don't like watching when we play the 49ers at all, actually.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. I would not want to watch that game
I feel
personally.
So bad for these people. We are
tired of watching the 49ers play us.
Soccer's the number one thing we show on the TV.
And it is, and it should be.
Yeah.
Now, back to this. So, you look at other groups. Argentina currently on 3 points. Chile and Peru on 1. Canada on 0. Canada could come back into this. They play Peru tonight, so they could swing back in, especially if Chile lose. Over to the other group,
You'll make Jesse Marsh, isn't it?
I think he's doing a good job. I thought they played half decent against Argentina, and they could have even
They weren't
potentially
bad. No, I
shocked
thought-
them.
no,
I thought
they held on for
couple
quite a
different
while,
bounces,
yeah.
they might win that game.
Mind
Even.
you, they missed a couple. Argentina.
Messi missed 2 breakaways.
Yeah.
You would have bet,
Unusual.
you would
I know,
have bet the
I know.
house on Messi to score those 2. It was Julian Alvarez that was actually the difference on the nice pass from I thought McAllister was brilliant. I thought he was fucking brilliant for Argentina. Big upset, kind of, in Group B with Venezuela upsetting Ecuador. Ecuador not helping themselves with a red card 10 minutes in, but Venezuela coming back down 1-0 to win 2-1. I thought that was massive. I thought Mexico robbed Jamaica.
I didn't see it.
robbed
What was the
them.
score? I had no
1-0
clue.
Mexico.
Okay.
Jamaica scored to go 1-0 up. It was Antonio. He was offside. They were peppering the goal. They were the better team. They were the better chances. It was all Jamaica, really.
I feel bad
and Mexico got one.
Even Jamaica, when they played the USA, they should have won that
They
game.
should have beat
right to
us.
the last
They should have beat
seconds.
us. They should have beat us. And it was an own goal
no.
that tied it up too in the Nations
it
League. So no,
wasn't,
they should have beat us. I think that they'll bounce
Did you
back.
see the Brazil game last night?
I didn't watch because I was watching Game
One
7
of the
of the
Brazil
hockey.
players headed up when he scored an own goal. I mean,
Yeah.
I've never seen it. Boom, fuck me.
I
What are you
thought Brazil.
doing?
Okay, I thought Brazil's goal was onside. Marquinhos in the 30th minute.
Yeah.
I thought the initial one was onside. I thought Marquinhos on the second touch was onside. I didn't see lines.
The flick on was onside,
and the initial
fella-
player
yes,
was
yeah,
onside.
no.
And again, they
There's
didn't
a
draw
player
lines.
between the one that actually scored in the middle,
Yes.
it might have been.
I couldn't believe they didn't
Yeah.
draw lines. I don't
No.
know who's running that. Probably Hawkeye's bum ass still.
Yeah, no.
But like, I cannot believe that they didn't draw lines. So in a way, I think Brazil kind of got robbed there. I thought it could have been a penalty on Vinny. I thought Marquinhos' goal should have stood. That being said, they did not play well, so I don't want to take anything
I'm glad
away.
for Costa Rica. I mean, they're
It's big.
52nd in the world.
They're not even close to Brazil.
And they had a few fans. And I like to see
did.
it for their fans.
They
you know?
did. No, their fans were into it by the end of the game, obviously.
Yeah, no, I think it was good.
So-
and just for their players, you saw they gave everything they could possibly give.
Again, though, I still think that Brazil will come back. I think they will
Yeah.
be a force
Oh, yeah.
in the tournament. But this is a setback. Let's not take this away. Brazil should be walking out with 2 more points than they did last night. I think that they need some lineup changes.
So Costa Rica aren't going to win the Copa?
Yeah, you can take that if you want to take that bet. I'll take the field if you want Costa Rica, but I do not think they will.
There we go.
I got nothing.
I like the underdog.
I got nothing against Costa Rica. I love Joel Campbell, former Arsenal player. I respect
Yeah,
Taylor.
he did well when he came on. Yeah, I remember
He's
him.
still
He was
going
good.
for
I know.
them, man. He's
I
still
thought he
going
played
for
for
them.
Everton as well, did he not? Or was it just
Potentially,
Arsenal?
I don't know.
Yeah, no,
saw
I remember
him.
him.
Arsenal,
Yeah,
but yeah, and
he
then
did a couple of moves there last night. I
Keylor
saw it.
Navas as well. I don't know if he was their goalkeeper last night. Maybe not, but he typically is. But yeah, that kind of does it. That kind of wraps that up. Do you have any predictions for how today goes with England?
No, we're going to win.
You're gonna win.
We're going to win
Easily.
3-0.
3-0.
3-0.
So you get Croatia into the next round.
Do we?
If you win by 3,
I don't want Croatia.
well, then win 2-0. Win 2-0.
Oh, well, okay.
If England wins by 3 plus goal difference, so 4-1, 3-0, whatever
If
it
not,
is,
who do we
5-2. Well, nothing. You would win the group, but that would knock Slovenia behind Croatia in terms of third place ranking teams, letting Croatia slide in as one of those 4 third place
But
teams.
does that mean we get Croatia in the next round?
No.
Okay, then I don't mind.
If England win Group C, you will play third place in Group D, E, or F. Which again, Group
Whatever
B,
that
we
is,
have no
yeah.
clue.
Yeah.
Group D could be Austria, France, or Netherlands. The way that if Austria's still winning, that
Yeah.
could be very shaky. You might
Yeah, it
not
doesn't matter. I mean,
want
it
to
doesn't
play the
matter.
Netherlands.
No, I've said 3-0. I'm sticking to 3-0.
All right, Rock, you're helping Croatia out too. So that'll pretty much. We can wrap this
Hey,
up. I want to get into the
I
interview
want to.
because
This podcast goes out to Croatia.
Yeah.
We win 3-0. They stay in the Euros. I can go and then holiday for free.
there you go.
Never
That's
have
fair.
to pay for a drink.
That's fair. Never. No, they'll
Never.
pay your hotel,
No.
everything for
Yeah,
you.
everything, yeah.
So Croatia, you're going to pick up the bill for Barry, but we got a great interview coming up with Peter Wright. I think he's one of the most interesting guests we've ever had. He's got some crazy stories between plane crashes, being in a band, and being a West Brom
Yeah.
fan. He's got
And
it all.
We do the interview, is it? Before we do this. So we've already interviewed the man.
You're not supposed to tell the
And
audience
all
that,
the way
Barry.
through the interview,
You're
either
not
you,
supposed to tell him that.
one of you was rubbing my leg. It was either you or him. I don't know who it
Definitely
is
wasn't
yet.
me. I
You
sit
sure
on
it
the
wasn't
side
you?
of the table, 99%
So it's
sure.
Peter?
Yeah, it was Peter.
You're welcome back, mate.
All right, we're going to end on that one, guys. We got a great interview coming up. Stick around for that. I'm gonna say this might be the most interesting guest we've had on the podcast, just from the
Don't count on it.
No, I'm already counting on it. Peter Wright, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time.
Welcome. Good
And
to
the
be
bit
here.
I like, he's the first person that's been on here that's fucking older than I am.
Oh,
There you
my
go.
God.
I didn't know those.
Born in 1950.
There you
Wow.
go.
Because
Look at
the
that.
English years are different to the American, as you know.
You know when you say things to people now, and you say to kids, I was born in the 1900s.
Yeah.
Fuck, okay, yeah.
Amazing.
I know.
Hey, I was before 2000 as well. Not I was
you're
there.
right, fucker, you.
Yeah, I know, right? Me. All right. Peter.
Yes.
There's like so much stuff I want to talk to you about. I don't even know where to start.
Not
You are
guilty.
an England fan, obviously. We have England playing today.
Yes,
Very
yes,
important
yes.
Euros game against Slovenia. England currently top of the group with 4 points. If they win, then they will get a very favorable bracket, is from what I've seen. Now, if they lose and finish second, the reward is Germany. So you can say it's a pretty important game today. Peter,
Yes.
let's talk about West Brom. Let's start there.
How did I become a West Brom fan? Well, that's
Go for it.
It's a very good question. I was born in Birmingham.
Ooh, Jude Bellingham territory.
Yeah, and
How do you
then
pronounce it like an American then? Birmingham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should have been a Birmingham fan.
Alabama.
But my mother lived in West Bromwich, mum's side of the family, and Carter's Green, and 19 Shaftesbury Street. So I was born in Birmingham, and I was going to be adopted. This is irrelevant, but mum changed her mind and absconded with me to, I don't know, Worcester, and they found her in Worcester. So then I went to West Bromwich and lived in West Brom. And my grandfather, he was a Baggies fan. Mum used to, she was a secretary, and she worked right by the Albion ground. I think she went out with most of the team. And
One of them could be your dad.
yeah, probably.
You got more legacy at this club than you know.
So I remember I would be maybe something like 8 or 9, 7, 8, 9, going to the Albion game. And the thing that I remember the most was going to the ground. I was just a little kid.
Yeah.
The green grass. You know, it was funny things you remember, like the green
Well, how
grass.
green it was and-
how
Yeah.
green it was, how green it was then, and of course it changed over the years. Anyway, so that's I became a West Bromwich Albion fan.
Do you remember the first game, who they played?
You know, I was just a kid. I don't remember anything about it, just the green grass. But then
It's probably for the best.
we lived in West Brom, and then we moved to King Swinford, which is just outside Dudley. Lived in King Swinford.
How
and-
far away is that from West
Oh,
Brom?
about maybe 10 miles. But I mean,
Okay, so that's not bad.
We would always go to the games. Well, lots of stuff happened over the years, but my dad was an engineer, and we lived in India for 3 years. So at the age of, I think maybe 7, we lived in Bombay and Calcutta.
Okay.
Then something happened, and we came back to the UK and lived in King Swinford. And we used to be able to get on the coach, the bus, and go to the Albion games, and you know that was backwards
Do
and
you remember
forwards.
how much it cost?
Not very much, and we we used to stand behind the goals. You know, no seating. Well, there was seating, but not behind the goals. And yeah,
Do you know what's
fans-
weird about that? You don't probably realise it, but all that green grass had a profound effect on the rest of your life.
Right.
Because years later, you couldn't, grass and you were that and that, wasn't it?
Right.
Hey.
Right. And I went to, of course, West Brom. We did win the FA Cup in, I think it was it 76? Anyway, so I went.
Who did you play? It was 1-0, wasn't it?
Yeah, we well the year before it was a League Cup, and we played. I think it was Queen's Park Rangers. We were winning, and I went to Wembley. We were winning 2-0, and our goalkeeper got injured, and we lost 3-2. The next year I didn't go, but I watched it at home in King Swinford, and Jeff Astle scored.
That was him,
and
yeah.
we won 1-0.
So you were saying is you can't go to games for them to win, basically.
That's right.
That's
I
what it was.
jinxed them. But I mean, over the years, see, I came over to this. How did I come to the States? I came over. I was a musician.
Hang on. You were meant to ask that question. He had to ask him fucking himself.
I didn't even get to ask it. He just
Well,
asked
yeah,
himself.
he's waiting. He was just sitting there like a fucking...
He's asking himself interview questions over here. I'm just sat here, he's like, how am I going to say something? I'm like, that was my job. I was going to ask
Larry,
you that.
scrap that bit quick. Ask him how he came over
Yeah,
to
how'd you get to
America.
the States? Yeah, there we go.
That's a good question. I'm glad you asked that.
You just kept going. You just kept going.
I was actually a musician back in the UK. When we were at school, everybody wanted to play guitar, and the Beatles came out, and used to cycle down to the village and buy the Beatles album. And I told some of the girls at school we'd got a band, which we hadn't. So I said to them, we've got to get a band together because all the girls are coming to see us.
Smart.
So I started in the music business, building guitars, doing this, doing that. One thing led to another, and Dad let me become a professional musician. And the first professional band I was in was called Ashley. And that was because there was a sex change woman called Ashley, and it was on the newspaper, so the band was called Ashley.
Oh my God.
Anyway, so lots of things happened.
Yeah.
And there was a band in the UK, well, in Bullhampton, called Trapeze. And the original bass player in Trapeze, name was Glenn Hughes. Well, in '74, Glenn Hughes joined Deep Purple, which at the time was one of the biggest bands in the world. Glenn was the bass player and singer. Anyway, so they were auditioning at JB's in Dudley for bass players. Well, I was a friend of Terry Rowley's, who was a sound engineer, and I went up to pick up Terry, and they got about 10 bass players all playing. And Mel Galley, who was the lead guitarist, he said, "You're still playing, Pete?" I said, "Yeah, I was with a band called Johnny Neal and the Starliners, who won Opportunity Knocks." I'll have you know.
Did they?
Yeah. So they said, "Well, why don't you bring a guitar?" Well, I was happy, Johnny Neal, you know, we used to play like nightclubs, you know, social working men's clubs,
Yeah.
the northeast of Scotland, Southport, and then every time we'd play, we'd go see whatever soccer games we could see. Anyway, so I got my guitar, and it was just Mel Galley and Dave Holland. Dave was with Judas Priest. They were playing, and I played. And they played so damn loud, I don't think they heard a thing I played, but they were fed up with audition. So I got the job in Trapeze. We had another guitarist, and that involved making albums, coming to the States in the band, and that's what we do. Always based in the UK, and we actually had albums. You can listen to it on Spotify, and we played at the Cotton Bowl with the Rolling Stones in '75.
Wow.
It was Montrose, Trapeze, the Eagles, and the Stones. We never made any money, but we had a damn good time.
That sounds incredible.
Yeah.
Even with years ago, I mean, what did you have, the old Bedford band driving up and down?
The Ford Transit.
Yeah, oh, okay.
Got the Ford Transits with the petition and all the equipment behind, and my excuse me, my 21st birthday, we had a road manager called John Kirby, who's still a friend of mine now, lives in Vegas, and I'd said to John, you know, John didn't have a car, and he used to go out in the van with the equipment, you know, in the van. And I said to John, don't, you know, be careful with the van and the equipment and everything. And Mum says, "You're so mean to John, he hasn't got a car, blah, 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 blah." Anyway, my 21st birthday, we went to Wolverhampton Civic Hall. John went in the van, and I don't even know who was playing. Went to the Club Lafayette afterwards, and I'm standing at the bar, and in comes John. I go, "What's going on?" "We've had the van stolen," John tells me, which was not good news, especially, you know, that was our living. And the only thing not in the van was my '62 Fender Jazz bass, which was at home, which I've still got to this day. I paid £150 for it in '68, and I looked on eBay the other day, it's worth 40,000. And I've still got it. I've still got it.
That's a nice little piece to have right there, yeah.
It's at home now with the cats.
The cat, how many cats do you have?
I've got, that's a good question. I've got 3 rescue cats.
Oh,
Ollie, Elvis, and Ginger.
Ollie, Elvis, and Ginger.
They're all wonderful. Ginger went missing, came back, and got missed again. But the other 2 are still there. So
happens. Cats will do that. Cats go on their own little adventures to come back.
I pussy somehow.
Yeah, they had to, yeah.
Hell of a sentence.
Hey,
hell of a sentence.
3 of them.
Yeah.
So let's get back to West Brom. You want to talk to us about this little fun piece you got right here?
Okay, well, we used to go to the games as much as we could when I was in the UK, and this was a Christmas thing at one of the
like a Christmas dinner.
One of the restaurants by the we went, and I got autographs, and
So
it was
who's
a raffle, and I drew the winning thing. So after the game, we went, and they gave me the.
So who do you have on here signing this?
I have no idea. I can't read any of them.
But you've got it.
That's me. Yeah.
That's your dad? Yeah, of course, the big West.
Did they?
West Brom
Because I
player.
know the biggest player that most people know that I
Astle.
knew is Jeff Astle.
Jeff Astle, yeah.
Do you ever hear of him or?
That's a little bit before my time. I was going
He
to
was
say,
a
for
centre
me,
forward.
Oh, yeah.
I said this obviously off pod, but for me, the biggest player that I've seen at West Brom was Lukaku when he started there. And he really started. He used to have these short dreads, and it was a way different style for him. And it was before his Everton days where I think most
Was he
people...
bulking in or a little bit skinny?
So he used to be skinny. It's funny, Lukaku used to be a skinny lad. He was pacey, he was skinny, but his body, he was muscular, right?
Yeah.
It didn't show, but he was muscular, which is really different to his build now. And obviously, he's been having a rough
I think
Euros
he was
of
with
it.
the baggage for about a year, something like that.
Yeah.
Did he help him? Was he good?
Oh, he was brilliant. Oh, he was brilliant.
We were devastated when he moved on.
Yeah.
Did you get in the playoffs this year or nearly?
Yeah, Southampton. We lost to Southampton, of course.
It was close.
Yeah, it was good.
So
yeah.
what are your goals for West Brom going into next season? Are you looking for an immediate promotion? Do you think that's possible? or-
Anything. Anything's possible.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's a tough league. The
Now,
championship.
cool to get out once.
It's been argued that it's tougher than the Premier League because of the consistency and amount of games.
Who owns West Bromwich, do you know?
They were so unpredictable.
Mm-hmm.
Some games they wouldn't show up at all for some games, and other games they could do no wrong.
Sound like Chelsea a little bit. Sound like Chelsea.
I
never
mean,
know
you know,
who's
when
right.
I came over in '74 in the music business, it was, you know, soccer wasn't such a big deal as it is now.
Yeah.
And I can remember if you wanted to find out what was going on, you had your shortwave radio. I'm sure you had it too.
Yeah.
You'd stand outside the apartment and you'd hear the West Bromwich Albion to South, and that's it.
You're hoping they scored less than
now
two.
you can watch everything on your damn cell phone.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, when I go over I go over every couple of years to the UK. I've got a daughter in Cambridge. I've got a half brother by Heathrow Airport. Everybody else is just outside King Swinford, actually, in the West Midlands. And you can watch more on your cell phone over here than you can over there. You
We
go to
spoke
the
about,
pubs.
people don't realise how difficult it was to find anything out about when we came over here for football. I'd go on here, you'd find this, I'd get the newspaper, and 2 days later, unless I
Well,
called
it's just
home.
recently, like the past couple of years, that ESPN on their app, they have like all the featured sports, and they didn't have Premier League on the featured sports when it played for a while. They realized they've added it and people care more, but like if you wanted to find the Premier League scores, you had to go search a little bit and find
how
stuff.
many were at the game, the USA game?
47,000.
That's not bad, is it?
Well, when you consider that Peru-Chile brought out 43,000 and the stadium holds 80,000, I wouldn't say that I was impressed.
Well,
and I'll say this to you. Larry, our producer, he can probably attest to this because him and I worked both games together, actually. He did a great job directing. He doesn't get any love, so I'm going to give Larry a little love here for his great directing on that. Yeah, there you go. I thought that the 43,000 of Peru-Chile were just astronomically louder, more passionate, and more into it than the 47,000 of USA-Bolivia.
Wow.
The atmosphere for Peru-Chile... Not Peru-Chile, sorry. No, it was Peru-Chile. Yeah, it was a million times better than it was for USA-Bolivia. And I think that shows the passion that South American fans have compared to American
you've
fans.
got to get years and years of getting into it. I mean, you're doing it, and they're getting there, but yes,
Well,
they are.
I'll also say this, too, is that, and I know we talked about this with the American Outlaw who came on here, tickets should be way cheaper.
Yeah.
They make it very difficult for Americans to go to the games. I saw for the second game we play, oh my God, I think it's Panama. I was going to say Paraguay, but Panama. And there's no tickets cheaper than $100, and they're not selling shit for this game. Like there's already shown like how many empty seats they're going to be. If you really wanted to grow, but again, they're just for profit. But if you really cared about growing the game, tickets should be $20-$30.
Yes.
Fill out every stadium,
Honestly.
pack it in. Stop trying to ban the fan groups from bringing their drums, their flags, and their passion, and let it happen. You want to create this environment because it scares me not for just this Euros, but for the World Cup that's coming here too.
Yeah.
It's like we're going to be the hub of soccer for the world, and you're gonna just care, and all that they care about is, well, we made this much money, well, we sold this many.
But that's what it is.
That's not what it's about. That's not the game.
Yeah, but that's America, isn't it?
That's America.
It's all about money,
It is.
and I'm telling you, we know ourselves. You used to go to the grounds. A lot of them were shit. I came over here. I would see high school.
The grounds for the Copa are shit. Have you seen them?
No, I know the pitches, but I'm talking about the grounds and the stadiums.
Oh, yeah.
I should
Yeah.
have said. When I came over here, I'd drive past a high school football thing. It's better than half the fucking divisions in England.
I was watching Ecuador, Venezuela. I've played on nicer pitches when I was in high school in Georgia.
No, honestly.
Like, and also the other thing too, why are you scheduling Ecuador, Venezuela in Santa Clara, California at 2 p.m. in the peak of the heat in an outside stadium, and then you sit there, well, the stadium looks... Yeah, no shit, buddy. Santa Clara, California is not the hub for Ecuador versus Venezuela, and putting it the hottest part of the day in California in June isn't a good recipe. It doesn't work.
As I said before, it's all going to change now. With the Americans getting involved, even in England, they're buying these. Who owns West Bromwich, you know? No.
I don't know. Some rich guy, obviously now.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just took over. I don't know.
I mean, it's nice to get these people. They got the money behind them, and they buy your team, and then they always going and fuck it up. It's all business.
It's weird too. What I saw recently, and obviously I'm from Atlanta United fan. We have a player who was on the Argentinian World Cup squad, Thiago Almada. He's way too fucking good to play in the MLS, basically. Like, if he doesn't play for Atlanta, we're dusted. And he's recently getting bought, but he's not getting bought by a club. He's getting bought by a group who own a club in Brazil, who own Lyon, and who own Crystal Palace. And what they're talking about is we're going to buy him for $20 million, give Atlanta the $20 million. The player will then be owned not by a club, but by a business group. He'll play for the Brazilian squad for a year and then transfer to Palace or Lyon, depending on where they want him to go the year after. I've never seen transfers done like that ever. So we really are entering this new era of, it's not even a club buying them, it's a business group that has an umbrella of clubs.
A lot of that, I know it's to get around that fair play crap as well.
It is. Well, Chelsea
they're
are
swapping players.
On that note, you look at what Chelsea, Villa, and Everton and Newcastle are doing right now, right?
His second team's Villa. He loves Villa.
Yeah, of course. West Brom fan loves Villa, right?
Our arch enemies were always Wolverhampton Wanderers. That was the game.
Wolves was the one. Okay.
Midlands derby, right?
Well, yeah, and of course, back then it was we were in the old First Division.
Yeah.
Hey, did any of you guys go to the World Cup when they had it here in Dallas?
I did,
I'm sure you did.
yeah. He wasn't born.
That was a lot of fun.
I went to the World Cup in Brazil. Give me something.
So I was such a great musician and such a great bass player, whatever. I've been in the restaurant business
again
40 years. Cafe Pacific.
Trapeze. Check them out on Spotify.
Island Park Village. And who should come into the restaurant but Pelé?
Shut up.
Shut
up. Like the Pelé.
The Pelé came into the restaurant. Well, one of Fernando, a Colombian friend of mine, he was very smart. He calls his wife. He says, "Get the kids. Put the soccer uniform on, bring them on."
Get the camera.
He's got a picture of Pelé with his kids, and he used it for a Christmas card. Anyway, so
I'd use that for everything.
You're
getting one photo from my family the rest of my life.
The Colombian guy introduced me to Pelé. He said, "This is Peter from England." You know what Pelé said to me? "What happened to England?"
He's talking shit immediately.
Son of a bitch.
Talking about that, because we're talking about that with Pelé. And like West Brom, the fella that we spoke about, Jeff Astle, one of their biggest players, legend. He died 60 years of age. He had the head trauma because he actually was the best header of the ball, one of the best.
Yeah.
Tony Hayden, even Villa to Chelsea, and then years ago, them balls weighed a fucking ton when they got wet. So when you talk about Pelé, you see what he did. He did it with one of them balls with laces in, and they were fucking. That's why he was so good. I place him amongst the top one because of the ball he played with.
I saw a great tweet about that. It was, I played soccer my whole life and I never had any problems with heading the ball. And I played soccer my whole life and never had any problems with heading the ball. And it's like, okay, well, I don't know, but now it's way different, right? It's way different than it was back then.
It's a nightmare with the laces. Remember you?
Yeah, you get a mark in your fucking head with the laces.
I remember I had a coach one time. He shot a ball just like at practice, just like trying to shoot, and he drilled one of my teammates just like straight in the head. You could read the writing on the ball on the side of his head.
When the ball was wet, it was a nightmare.
It was horrible, man. Especially when I was 11. Well, that's when I first played on a field when I was 11, a pitch, and. The ball was wet, and when you get to head the ball when you're 11, the ball got kicked by the goal. They always used to lump the ball up the field, and you were in the middle, and I used to jump, and I'd head with the top of my head.
Yeah.
Fucking worse. Obviously, that's the worst
a concussion.
thing you can do.
That explains a lot.
Oh, my Lord. I swear you got concussion, but this Jeff Astle, he died at the age of 60. He had dementia and all that stuff. It was all head trauma.
His wife set up some kind of a foundation, and there's a statue in West Bromwich for him.
That's awesome.
He was our hero, Jeff Astle.
All right, Peter, I do want to move on from West Brom a little bit and talk about what you're wearing today, which is England. Now, recently, a lot of former English players have come out and criticized the current England team. I want to get your thoughts on that. Is it justified? Should they shut their mouth since they never won anything themselves?
It's been a bit disappointing, the performances.
It has
the players didn't show up, but...
Would you put that on the players or Southgate in the way it's structured? Because there's been a lot of criticism of his subs, his use of subs, his lineups, his ability...
I like Southgate, but there's definitely something not gelling, and hopefully today we'll be back to normal, but, it's tough. It's tough.
Yes. It is, and he's playing players out of position, which, if they play for their clubs in that position, keep them in that position.
I think that the biggest thing for me is that his inability to find balance in the front three, and the fact that you look at the last game against Denmark, right, where it was Saka, Kane, and then I think it was Foden basically on the left, and he subbed all three of them out at once, and it's like, well, you could have definitely balance that team a little bit better. The way that Saka's doing all these right wing back shifts to cover Walker, and you're leaving Kane and Foden up top. Well, if you're going to drop one back and then you just swap the other two out, it just doesn't work. There's no balance in that front three. There's no consistency.
We could talk about England for the last 30 years, over the last 30 years, and even then, go back 30 years, you still wouldn't be able to mention a West Bromwich Albion player in there. When was the last time one of you played for England?
Right, that'll been a while.
I'm trying to think. I can't even think. But so looking at the Euros in England right now, like I said earlier, if they finish second in the group, they will have to date with Germany.
Oh my God!
If they win the group, the bracket looks very favorable from them. Then first they will play either, and again, there's a lot of games to be played. They'll play the third place team from groups D, E, or F. So you're looking at likely Austria. I have no clue for Group B since they're all on 3 points, or the Czech Republic.
Right.
Much more favorable.
Yes. Anybody but Germany.
And then on that note, actually, do you know who the highest and lowest paid managers of these Euros are? Any guesses for the lowest? Lowest is a little easy. Lowest is easy.
We have to say fucking Georgia or someone like that.
Georgia, right? He's on 168,000 a year. A year.
That's a millionaire in Georgia.
A year. Which, again, that's a great salary, but you think these players are on that a week, right? Any guesses on who the highest paid manager at these Euros is?
Not Southgate, is it? No, it can't be him.
Southgate could be.
You'd actually be correct. It is Gareth Southgate on just near $5 million.
Really?
4.9 to 5 million. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's the point I was making was England not only has this roster, right? They're paying Southgate $5 million a year.
I can see now why he stayed on for the Euros. He was going to quit.
Yeah, I would stay. I'd stay too. Hell yeah, $5 million a year to score 2 goals in the Euros.
Shouldn't they base it as well? On how far you get.
You would think, but he's been there for a while. He is somewhat established with the England. Everyone at England's all chummy with him. They love him. They're all buddy-buddy.
Right.
Everyone that's not the fans, I should say.
Good to have Peter on it, and you can vouch for this, okay? Because I'm going to tell people now, because obviously the older you get, I used to play soccer every day. Now it's less, and I do less exercise. The only exercise I do now, and you can tell me if you do this, I can play hacky sack with my testicles. I'm fucking telling you. I'm telling you.
No, you are telling me. You're telling me. No, you're telling me for sure. I hear you. I wish I didn't.
Barry, what are testicles?
Oh, honestly, I wish I didn't. They're right there between your ankles.
Oh my God, I wish I didn't hear you, but I heard you.
Honestly, no, it's fucking good. Try it.
Going to hell, this podcast is.
Try it.
Thank you. God. All right, so let's get back. Get back to the Euros.
Yeah.
Do you have a prediction for how the Euros pan out and for England here?
We're gonna win. No.
Oh, shit, that was easy.
Yeah, I'm hoping, but I somehow don't think we're going to advance all the way. But
what is it?
Well, no one's ever seen that. Look.
Oh yeah, West Brom.
What's the Hawthorns is the ground, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's
the throttle. That's the emblem.
And they're called the baggies for what reason?
Because of the shorts. And that's that's the highest ground in the country.
Really?
The Hawthorns. You wouldn't think that.
What do you mean high? Because it's on a hill, or
it's just a high elevation. I don't know why. They bulldozed it. I don't know the Hawthorns. Yeah.
Damn. So realistically, where does England get to? Obviously, I assume they're going to win the group. Let's do that. I think that they beat Slovenia. Then
we'll be lucky to get much farther. The
way you win the group, you have a very easy path to basically the semifinals.
Right.
The way that the tournament is set up, if things go the way they should with France, they're playing Poland today. By the way, Poland. First team eliminated. First team eliminated, baby. That's the first time we've got first in anything. That's the first time we've got first in any tournament.
Polish in your side? What's that? Who's Polish in your side of the family?
My grandparents, his parents immigrated to Ellis Island, all that.
So everything. Yeah, Ben's dad's here, by the way.
Yeah, my dad's right there. So
do you want to step off the stool and headbutt him?
Well, I'm good. I'm good. We'll be fine. It's okay.
You couldn't be born in Brazil.
I'm good. I don't think I want to after last night's game. Last night's game was Brazil.
His father is.
Yeah.
Baby steps. But no, I mean, look, I've never sat down and watched Poland soccer and been like, we should dust this team, baby. Light work for us today, right? No, so I've never had high expectations. and we get France today. And luckily for us, France were nice enough to rest Kylian Mbappe for this game.
They still haven't scored a goal.
And he's starting. That's the funniest. I was going to mention that too. France have qualified for the last 16 without scoring a goal at the Euros. They drew the Netherlands 0-0 for a point, and they beat Austria 1-0 with an own goal. So they have not scored a goal. They have not scored a goal in the tournament, and they're into the last 16 no matter what. They'll finish at least top 3.
Last week, Eric, that French bastard.
Yeah,
and he was giving it all this and all that, and I hadn't fucking. So I texted him. I said, "Hey,
score a fucking goal."
France still haven't scored a goal.
Yeah.
And his reply.
Who cares? Who needs it?
They haven't conceded one.
Yeah, why? Because they have William Saliba at the back. My goat.
Don't go to France.
They got the best center back in the world playing for them right now. Yeah, Saliba. So
there we go.
He is. It's him or Van Dijk. It's him or Van Dijk, in my opinion, fully. Other groups that we can take a look at here. Portugal have won their group. Germany won their group. Spain won their group. Spain looked terrific. Spain looked terrific. Clean sheet again.
Yourself, sometimes in these tournaments, Italy have done it quite a few times. They start bad and they grow into it. Yeah. I'm hoping England do that.
Well, speaking of Italy...
Argentina lost to Saudi, was it?
Argentina lost to Saudi Arabia in the first game of the World Cup. The first game of the World Cup, and they went on to win the World Cup, as we all know. On that note, Argentina play again tonight. What I'm really hoping for, and I'm guessing Larry might be too, is we want Argentina to finish second in their group so they come to Arlington. This is probably the best chance they have of losing tonight is against Chile. Obviously, Chile drew Peru in their first game, so bad start for them there. But Argentina historically have struggled against Chile, obviously losing multiple Copa America finals to the Chileans and Alexis Sanchez captaining that side. You never know. That being said, Argentina are probably coasting to the top of the group, right?
Did you see the Brazil game? Did you watch that last night? No, I watched it last night, and by the end, I wanted Costa Rica to get out there with a tie. But Messi did say, he said the first game of any of these tournaments is the hardest.
Because everyone's fired up. The other thing too is everyone has a chance.
A final.
Everyone has a chance, right? So you go into that first game, there is no, they already, our other group members, they've won 2 games, and we lost a game and drew one, and everyone's on the same level playing field for that first game. That being said, this isn't new for Brazil right now. They've been struggling. Drawing the USA, we can sit here and say, great result. If you're Brazilian, that's piss, right? That's terrible to draw the USA. It's not good enough. And then you draw Costa Rica again. I've seen a lot of Brazilians very critical of Vinny Jr. He's been given 30-plus caps for them. I've never really seen him fully grow into the game and play well for Brazil. They're calling for Martinelli to start. They're calling for Rodrigo to go up top. They're calling for anything. I don't know what the deal is, but Brazil don't look like Brazil right now.
They might have people on the wings. I don't know anybody in the middle. I still can't see
who they got. Paqueta, the gambling man, plays for them in the middle. Yeah. Bruno Guimaraes was on the bench yesterday. They played someone else. Yeah, and then their defense, they have Marquinhos, very experienced, Militao, Real Madrid, Danilo, the Juventus right back, he's their captain. Alisson started in net for them last night over Ederson. He's clearly the favorite for them, the Liverpool keeper. So the talent's there, the world talent's there. There's no doubt about that. You have Champions League winners in the squad all over. You have vast experience. It's just not clicking. It's just not clicking.
Talk about experience. That's why I like to try and get people on this podcast, not as old as us two fuckers, but, over 40 at least. Because they've done some things like that. One of the things that you, and I wasn't going to ask you it, but you kind of said it's okay, you were involved in a plane crash.
Yes. My girlfriend, Nona, at the time, and my roommate, Jeff, who was a neighbour of mine in the UK, we were going to Salt Lake City. Well, we were actually going, it was August 31st, 88. We were actually going to Salt Lake City, but we were going to Yellowstone Park.
Okay.
And it was 8 o'clock in the morning, and it was Delta Flight 1141. We were on the runway, getting ready to go, and I always remember when you've taken off, you always think something's going to go wrong, but of course it gets going. Anyway, the pilots were chit-chatting, off we go down the runway, and it started lifting off, and 8:30 in the morning, and it was making this kind of bumping sound, And I thought, and we were sitting on the right-hand side. Jeff was by the window, Nona, my girlfriend, was in the middle, I was in the aisle. Lifted off, and they didn't have the flaps set correctly, so what the pilot did was they stalled the plane, and it rolled. Didn't even leave the runway, crashed down. Boom, 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 caught fire, and 14 people sitting right behind us couldn't get out. They died of smoke inhalation. 14 people. We got out of the emergency exit on the left-hand side. I'm standing in the damn field. We're looking at the plane. I've got no shoes, no socks, my glasses, standing there, and So that was that.
Which airport was that?
I forgot to tell you that DFW. Yeah.
And what year was that? 'Cause I
88. 88. There was two crashes. There was one crash landing, two Delta planes. One crash landing because of wind shear, and one crash taking off because of pilot error. They were chit-chatting in the cockpit. They didn't have the flaps set correctly. They stalled the plane, and it crashed down. And
Obviously, they had an inquest afterwards and all that. Was anybody held?
Oh, yeah. Pilot error. Yeah, we were...
Wow.
Did that change how you were going forward? Life in general?
Well, it was something, you just couldn't believe it happened, and I was scared to fly because after that I went back to the UK Christmas that year, and the chances of anything happening again are very remote. But I get up to Heathrow or Gatwick, whichever one it was, and I lost my luggage. So I lost all the luggage on Delta. I lost all my luggage again. And it was life changing, really.
It has to be, doesn't it? I mean, you get.
And two flight attendants. And they said if anybody would have been able to see it filled up with smoke, and it was thick smoke, and you couldn't see anything, and smoke inhalation is what killed. There was a family on there, and it was unbelievable. Jesus. But I remember calling Mum in the UK. I said, Mum, nothing to worry about, we're all okay, but there's been a plane crash in Dallas. And she says, oh, really? She says, the next door neighbour's rabbit's been over eating the roses. I go,
so she's got problems too.
Mum, I'll get back with you on that. So the next day, she's sitting on the bus, and she's got the Express and Star, and the headlines is, English pals survive plane crash inferno. So then she realised it was a big thing. So
not as big as the rabbits, though.
We were on Good Morning America. They took us out to Los Colinos, and Faith Daniels was in New York interviewing us. So I'm sitting with Jeff, and she's asking us questions, and she says to Jeff, she said, well, Jeff, when did you realise that you were in trouble? So Jeff goes, well, he said, every time you take off, you think that something's going to go wrong, and it doesn't, and this and that. He said, but this time it was different. It was making a funny noise, and the wing hit the. Jeff says, I saw the right wing hit the ground and about 10 feet break off in flames. He says, I knew we were in trouble then. And you see me kind of rolling my eyes. Well done, Jeff.
Nailed that one. Yeah, spot on. Yeah, when the wing broke in half, I thought, whoa, hold on.
We're in trouble here.
This isn't supposed to happen now, is it? Yeah.
I mean, obviously, the older you get, you have things in your life. No life goes perfect.
Well,
I mean, there's always things that come up,
and then Delta, they I think they compensated us for the luggage, and they offered us some lads a little settlement. Well, known to my girlfriend at the time, she was an attorney, we got an aviation guy on it, John Howie, and I think he represented about 20 people. I think some of the crew as well, and I think it was 2 years to the day we got like a nice settlement, tax free.
I bet, yeah.
But it still wasn't worth it.
No.
So,
oh God, no, it's never worth it. Yeah. It's never worth it.
Yeah, I lost my Albion shirt.
That's never worth it. You can't replace that.
You should have got a bigger settlement just for that fucking shirt.
For an Albion shirt.
Yeah. So you get something to buy part of the club or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Villa fans, because we have a Villa fan on here, and he hates anybody else in the West Midlands or any Midlands. Yeah. West Bromwich Albion, not so much. What did he say was their big game? Wolves was their big game.
Yeah.
Well, same as you.
The big rivalry, yeah.
But West Brom, they had a match this last season with Villa, and there was trouble at the ground. Remember that?
Oh, FA Cup, was a big fight. Was that Villa? What was that?
It was Villa.
It was Villa. There's typically trouble whenever they meet up.
To stop the game, didn't they? They took the players off.
It was Villa and West Brom, wasn't it? I think, FA Cup.
It was Coventry, I think, something like that.
It was
Coventry went all the way to the semi-finals.
Anyway, just to let you know, your West Bromwich Albion fan, they're no different than when you left.
Yeah.
Troublemakers.
Violent, worthless.
Yeah. What's the industry up there?
But they're good pies.
That balances it out then. That calls it even.
It used to be the motor industry was up there. Is that what it still is up there?
Yeah, there's everything like, steam,
industrial.
Industrial, yeah.
All right, Peter, we do have to wrap this interview, but I do want to get a prediction from you for West Brom next year. Where do you think they finish? You think they make the playoff, potentially Premier League, or
I would think there's a good chance of getting relegated. No,
that's fair. That's fair.
Playoffs.
I would say the same for Chelsea. So.
Playoffs.
Playoffs?
Yeah.
Or do you think you win the playoffs?
Probably not.
Probably not. Hey, Plows is a good season. Plows is a good
Just to let you
season.
know, he's not the only musician here. I used to play in a band.
Oh, God.
I used to play guitar.
Oh,
Did you
Lord.
really? I didn't know that.
I was
Yeah.
in a band called the Five Skins. And then one of them left, and I didn't like the name
here
change.
you go.
I said, fuck it.
I knew the second you said Five Guys. I know where that
Yeah,
joke's
would you play in
going.
a band called the Foreskins?
I know
No.
where that joke's going. We're going to call it on the foreskins, guys. Thank you. Yeah, you spit your water on that one, Chief.
Good job,
Yeah,
Barry.
make sure that's on the YouTube. Peter, thank you again for being here, taking the time. Best of luck to England today and the rest of the tournament. And also good luck to Poland against France right now. We are 5 minutes into kickoff. Hopefully we haven't conceded yet.
Hey, and we've got some
Hopefully we haven't
Euro
conceded yet.
t-shirts that were going
Yes.
for $35.
Those Euro t-shirts are on sale now. They
Yeah,
are on
but
sale
20,
now.
'cause obviously we didn't sell many of them.
Well, don't put that
They
part
fucking
in.
cost more than we paid. Did we pay
Barry,
more for that?
you don't say that though. You
What?
gotta sell them. You're trying to sell them. You don't tell the audience that part.
I'll do it like I used to do when I was in the market.
All
They're
right.
too cheap to pass by.
There you
Cheap
go.
enough to take
There
home.
you go. Great.
Listen
We're
to this
rapping.
one.
We're rapping.
No.
We're rapping. Great
Bollocks
interview,
to you.
Peter. Thank you again. And a big thank you again to Peter Wright for taking his time here, sharing his stories, his love of West Brom, and of course his love of the England national team with us. I thought that was one of the most fun interviews we've done in a while, Barry.
And I think we need to get him back just in the pub and
I
buy him
think
a
so.
beer and just listen to him chat
Get
about
him
what's
a-
happened to him.
I'll say this, the best part of the day for me, the funniest part was we always offer all of our guests, hey, would you like a Coke? Would you like a water? Would you like something? He goes, yeah, Red Bull. Like off
Yeah.
the jump. We record this at 10 a.m. by the way. He goes, yeah, Red Bull. No hesitation. I was like, oh, this guy rocks. Like, this
It didn't
guy
affect
rocks.
him though. He was still like he was going to fall asleep
He was
any minute.
normal, yeah. He
Yeah.
was normal. So, Barry, we do have to wrap with our wanker of the week. Would you like to start?
Titties.
Elaborate, for the love of God.
No, I just wanted to
elaborate.
throw. I haven't mentioned
You just
titties
wanted
in
to
the whole
say titties?
podcast.
That's
I haven't.
so- give me
I feel
some.
better now.
I love that.
I
Fuck
feel
yeah,
great now.
titties. Hell yeah. All right, do you have a wanker of the week, or you just want to say titties?
I didn't want to. It's going to have to be Gareth Southgate, and
That's
I really
fair.
don't want to because it's hard being the manager. But the way they played, and I don't know if it's all down to him. You've got to blame
5 million a year, by the way. 5 million.
5 million a year, I know.
Yeah.
But you've got to blame the players to a degree. But it depends what he's asked them to do. He's playing some players out of position.
A little bit.
It's.
And look, he doesn't have a natural Calvin Phillips replacement.
Well, if Calvin Phillips were playing, we would win this fucking tournament.
You'd 5-0 and 4-0
No, so my
last 2
wanker of the
games.
week, it has to be Southgate, and I don't like picking on a manager because it's not just him.
Uh-huh.
But they did say they've had a real. Declan Rice said they've had a real honest, truthful discussion between all of them.
Yeah.
So let's hope today, if they get out today, and I predicted
say-
3-0,
yeah.
then they'll forget about the last two
I will
games.
say this too. I thought it was funny. Harry Kane and Declan Rice were both asked about the former players, Gary Lineker specifically, criticizing them, and they both go, "Well, shit, they didn't win anything either.
Oh, did they really? Yeah.
Who are they to tell us they didn't
Yeah.
win anything? So they know it's
It is
tough.
easy. It's easy to get
sit
out
on the
there
other side. It's easy
afterwards.
to sit where we are and be like, how are you not beat this team?
Yeah, of course
When
so.
you're playing is difficult. My wanker of the week. This might be the first woman wanker of the week. I'm going to give it to Carly Lloyd, the former U.S. women's national team player, for giving the worst god-awful bullshit terrible take I've ever seen on television. She compared Maradona with Messi, followed up by comparing Jude Bellingham, who's played, again, one season at Real Madrid, he's like 20 years old, comparing him to Messi and Maradona, and then she followed it up with the worst take you will ever see on television, throwing Christian Pulisic into the same sentence as Maradona and Messi. Are you out of your goddamn mind?
Yeah, he's much better than two.
Yeah, miles clearer than two of the greatest players ever played. Why get your teetering to an American audience? Shut your damn mouth about comparing Christian Pulisic
you what, though,
to
I mean,
Messi and Maradona. That is obscene. I don't care if you're catering to an American audience. There's no brain cells involved in that take.
I don't even know what channel that's on, but is it Fox?
FS1 Fox, yeah.
I don't know why the fuck they keep having that Alexi, whatever his fucking name is.
That was my other wanker.
I've never liked- I
Alexi.
can't stand the
He's
geezer.
terrible. I don't know if you
He's
watched
fucking useless.
so they had Sturridge on the panel, Daniel Sturridge, former England striker, on the panel, and Alexi starts talking about England who were playing, and Sturridge is like sitting there like mouth open, eyes rolling. He can't believe the bullshit that's coming out of this guy's mouth, acting like he knows what he's talking about. Alexi Lawless, I want to also give you an honorable mention for wanker of the week because I saw your bracket, and as an American, look, I love the false confidence, but let's be serious. He had America beating Colombia, coasting through whoever wins Brazil, Uruguay, and only losing to Argentina in the final. We're not that good, buddy. We're
It's
not
like
that good, pal.
You want them to be, and you like to think
I
it
love
goes
it,
that
and
way.
I love it. I know. Again, American audience,
What is
American
your-
network, whatever.
In this business, you're in this business, of
course.
broadcasting and what have
Yeah.
you. What would be your best scenario? What's your biggest aim you think you can get to?
Like for me,
Yeah.
like my career.
Could you get on there and take Alexi's job? Because I think you
I
can
would
fucking
love
do
to
it.
do that.
Do
I
it.
mean, my goal growing up, my favorite idol was Kirk Herbstreit. If you're familiar with him, he does College Game Day for ESPN. I
But
read his book.
I'm nominating you for Alexis' job because he's fucking useless.
I would do it. Yeah, I agree.
And
I agree.
FS1, he's a lot fucking cheaper.
I am. I'll work a lot cheaper. And
Yeah.
here, I won't compare Christian Pulisic to Messi.
No.
I don't know. Crazy take there, but I don't think that the guy who's just got to move to AC Milan is better than the
And
greatest
he's done good,
soccer.
and without him in the American
Look,
team.
he's great. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to knock Pulisic. He is outstanding. He is carrying this team on his
yeah,
back
but
for
he's
years
not-
and
yeah.
years. But he is not amongst the greatest to ever play the game. This is a guy who couldn't hack it at Chelsea, being compared to the greatest
I
football
actually
player
didn't want
ever.
Chelsea to sell him. I wish
think
they
it
still
was a
had him.
mistake
Of
still for
course
them
it
to sell
was.
him. But
Yeah.
still, again, he wasn't able to hack it at Chelsea. He's
Yeah.
really kind of finding his form at AC
And I don't
Milan.
think it was his fault. When you say he wasn't able to hack it, he wasn't given the chances,
given
or
the
he was
opportunity.
getting pulled on and pulled off and
Substitute
getting a few
lot,
minutes.
yeah.
If he would have
It was
given him
a
a
tough
run in the
situation.
team,
It was a tough
anyway,
situation.
He's proven them wrong. Good luck to him.
He has, and best looked him. I think he would be the first to tell you, don't put me in a conversation with Messi and Maradona. Like, so, anyways, that does it for our episode.
His name's Pulisic, is it?
What?
Pulisic?
I mean, it depends. No.
Is that how you pronounce it? I don't know. You're Polish.
Pulisic.
Pulisic.
He's not Polish. Why'd you say Polish?
Oh,
He's
fucking hell,
Croatian.
sounds like it.
He's American and
All right,
Croatian.
then.
That's not even... We're going to wrap on that, guys. Thank you again for being here. We got another fun episode coming up next week. Stick around and come back for that. Thank you. It's not Polish at all. Why the hell
It sounds, isn't it?
Why would you mention... No, it doesn't sound
Fucking
Polish.
Pulisic.
It's Croatian.
I don't give a fuck.
Modric, Pulisic.
Are they any different?
Kovacic. Yes,
We're
this-
from England.
Yes, it's different.
We're talking to an American
Yeah,
audience.